Hi, welcome to another video. Today we're going to be doing Jungkook's AM birth chart analysis due to popular demand. So before we get started, as usual, please be advised this birth chart analysis is for entertainment purposes only. And know that my analysis is limited to my experience, knowledge, and research. And what I say is not set in stone, as people's lives and experiences are influenced by many different variables. So let's get into it. 3:23 a.m. gives Jungkook a Leo rising and a Leo moon. Leo is a masculine or a yang sign. It is a fixed fire sign ruled by the sun. Rising or ascendant is how we appear or present ourselves to the world. With Leo, Jungkook comes off as confident. There's weight and pride in the way he carries himself. Leo risings are fun-loving, energetic, and dramatic in nature. They love attention and admiration, being ruled by the sun. Pride is a good word for Leos, as they are proud lions, the king of the jungle. His moon is placed in his first house, and this moon influences the way he presents himself and how he is perceived by others because it is in the house with the ascendant. With moon here, the emotions are displayed for others to see, so he carries his emotions on his shoulder. He is emotionally driven and very expressive. He will also be sensitive about his image and people's perception of him. With Leo moon and ascendant, he is very creative, playful, and childlike. These placements indicate a bold, fiery, passionate, and flamboyant persona. The aspects the ascendant and his moon makes to other planets in his chart will influence how his ascendant and moon behave. So let's talk about his ascendant aspects first. His ascendant is opposite Uranus, which is in Aquarius. This is a difficult relating. The ascendant and Uranus are at odds with each other. It can point to conflict between the persona versus the desire to be different from the convention. Leo wants admiration, wants to be respected, and wants to lead others, whereas Aquarius Uranus wants detachment, freedom, and autonomy. He can appear to be friendly and bigger than life at first encounter. However, after a while, he can pull away and detach. This is a phase he goes in and out of. This opposition tension can cause Jungkook to be rebellious, egocentric, and self-centered, especially with Leo and Aquarius both being fixed signs, one in fire and the other being an air element. Imagine how fire and air combines. Air spreads fire and makes it rise higher and expand further to engulf all that's in its surroundings, and it can get out of control. It makes him very active and energetic, but very stubborn in nature as well. He experiences sudden changes in his energy that affect his interactions and relationships with others. But overall, this combination can make him exciting, outgoing, and assertive. The ascendant also square Mars in Scorpio. This aspect can represent tendencies to be aggressive as Mars is combative. With it being in Scorpio, another fixed but water sign can cause Jungkook to hold on to resentment or be passive aggressive. Fixed water and fixed fire energy tend to diminish one another, but Leo being a sign that comes before Scorpio, Leo would hold more power in this relationship. He can be broody and would not accept being oppressed. His ascendant trines Pluto in Sagittarius. His power, strength, and intensity is apparent to other people. It is a magnetic aspect. People can see that there is more to him than meets the eye. Pluto trine ascendant makes him very charismatic. And then his ascendant also quintile Venus in Libra. Quintile aspect isn't talked a lot about in astrology, but it's one of my favorite aspects. Although minor and hard to pinpoint, quintile aspects show areas where our talents, gifts, and charisma lies. With ascendant quintile Venus, this makes Jungkook beautiful, creative, soft, and sensual. People report to him due to his friendly demeanor. He appears to be someone who is trustworthy. Venus is in the third house, so he communicates and expresses himself very well. The third house is ruled by Virgo in his chart, and this can make him a bit critical in the way he communicates. But with Venus in Libra here, he knows what to say to comfort and make people feel loved by the way he gives his attention to them. Now let's talk about the moon aspects. Moon trines Saturn in Aries. Saturn is said to be in its fall or depression in Aries, meaning it's a weaker placement for Saturn. Aries feels held back and oppressed with restrictive Saturn, and Saturn doesn't like impulsive and reactive nature of Aries. Due to these opposing energies, it can actually cause inaction, friction, and tendencies to give up quickly. Saturn's influence on Jungkook's moon in a trine makes him self-contained and self-restrained, but the fiery Leo moon and Aries-Saturn combination can make Jungkook defiant as well. Overall, Saturn provides discipline and sense of responsibility to Jungkook's emotional nature. His moon square Pluto in Sagittarius. Pluto Sagittarius speaks to transformations through expansion. Difficult interactions with the moon can indicate an overly blown sense of threat to one's inner world and emotional safety. Pluto in 4th house and Moon in the 1st house can show this as protecting the self from the control or influence from the family or the mother in particular, as 4th house and the Moon both represent the mother. It often indicates a mother who is overly obsessive or interfering, which can cause Jungkook to be domineering or manipulative in order to stay in control of himself. Because of the strong need to protect himself, he has an impenetrable wall to keep others out. He can fear intimacy and he can keep himself in isolation for long periods of time in order to delve deep into his emotions and to understand his own pain and trauma. There's also a tendency for him to feed on emotional pain as well with Pluto in connection with the moon. Emotional reactions can turn violent and explosive at times if he doesn't have a way of channeling them in a healthy manner due to the expansive fiery Sagittarius Pluto and its combination with his fiery Leo moon. His moon is also quincunx to Neptune in Capricorn. Neptune in Capricorn in the 6th house of his chart can show that Jungkook channels his creative impulses to practical projects. His health, diet, exercises, and daily routines have a sense of practical creative flair to them. He feels calm and well when these things run smoothly or efficiently and when he follows a practical routine. He tends to provide practical service to others with compassion and sympathy. However, this Neptune in quincunx aspect with the moon can be the cause for emotional irritation or annoyance when his daily routines are chaotic and out of order. Also, sometimes he may sacrifice his own emotional needs in order to satisfy the needs of others around him, which can be the cause of internal frustrations in him as well. Next, we will talk about his Sun and Mercury conjunction in Virgo in the 2nd house. 2nd house is our immediate surroundings, our possessions, valuables, and money. It's the things we first encounter after realization of the self in the 1st house. Sun speaks to his identity, ego, and self-expression, and Mercury is how he thinks, how he communicates. It's his logic and reasoning. Virgo is a yin or feminine sign. It is a mutable earth sign ruled by the planet Mercury. Jungkook is cautious and reserved as a Virgo. Virgos are also perfectionists and they're discerning. Sometimes they can come off as nitpicky or critical. They like order and doing things a certain way that they deem as most effective and efficient, being an earth sign. Virgo being a mutable sign, they're adaptable and flexible, willing to work with others and compromise. They're also service-oriented. They want to be helpful and useful in ways that are practical. In his 2nd house, this can speak to compromise in areas of money and valuables in order to be of service to others. He is giving and generous in sharing his resources. He is motivated by intellect and logic because Virgos are ruled by the planet Mercury, which governs communication, our logic, and intellect. Jungkook being a Virgo, he is also independent and self-reliant. Jungkook's ego and sense of self aligns with the way he thinks and the way he mentally perceives the world around him. This makes him self-assured and confident in his own opinions, perceptions, and beliefs. Second house Virgo placements indicate that Jungkook is good with money and is calculative. He is intelligent with Mercury here with the Sun. He would be a good businessman and an entrepreneur as well. I will delve into his Sun and Mercury aspects to get a more clear picture. The Sun and Mercury square his Pluto in his 4th house. As I've already mentioned, his moon also squares Pluto, so to have Sun and Mercury also square Pluto adds a lot of strain and pressure on Pluto. This creates a lot of inner struggles and tension, giving him a sense of needing to protect himself and constantly on the lookout for external threats. His defenses against the challenges he has faced throughout his life can manifest in ways that make him domineering and investigative regarding other people's motives and intentions. There are definitely qualities of control, manipulation, and power plays with these aspects. With Sagittarius and Pluto, Jungkook evolves through expansion of beliefs in areas of home, family dynamic, and his root. He's constantly reflecting and revising the ideas and beliefs regarding his childhood and the past and its impact on him as an adult. With Pluto in 4th house along with Mars, there may have been a powerful and authoritative male figure in his early life. This can indicate physical or mental abuse, which in turn can create violent tendencies in Jungkook as well. These two being in the 4th house can often indicate domestic violence because Mars and Pluto are under stress with a lot of difficult aspects, creating friction and tension that cannot be ignored or repressed. On the positive note, Pluto's influence on his Sun and Mercury give him a lot of power and depth. He is charismatic and magnetic, has the power to draw people in. He also possesses psychic powers. Jungkook is very intuitive and it's easy for him to pick up on subtle cues. He can understand and peer through people's true intentions. But he would just have to be mindful that he isn't acting based on paranoia rather than true intuition, because Pluto can also create a lot of fears as well. His Sun and Mercury conjunction make a sextile aspect to his Mars in the 4th house. His Mars is in Scorpio. Mars is said to be domiciled in Scorpio as it rules the sign Scorpio. This means that his Mars placement is strong. Mars in Scorpio is determined, has strong willpower and drive. Mars is about what moves us. It can show our physical movement and how we assert ourselves. It's our drive and how we express anger or how we fight for what we believe in. Scorpio is a fixed water sign ruled by Mars and Pluto. Mars turns inward in Scorpio and makes someone mentally and physically strong, intense, and perceptive. Once he makes up his mind or picks a target, he has the stamina to stick through. Jungkook is intense and passionate when going after whatever he sets his sight on. These aspects can make him inflexible and he can be stubborn at times. Sextile aspect is a positive relating of the planets. It is a harmonious connection that creates opportunities for success. So these planets work together in a harmonious way. His Mars helps or works together with his Sun and Mercury to achieve goals. He can use his assertion and drive in a beneficial way to enhance his self-expression and mental agility. His Sun is quincunx to Uranus in Aquarius. Because quincunx aspect represents a minor, disharmonious relating, this aspect can manifest in ways that cause little unknown irritations or annoyance. It can stem from a sense of need for Jungkook to be original and unique. He may express himself in ways that is hard for others to understand him, or he may also misunderstand others' motives and intentions due to Uranus's unpredictable and sometimes bizarre nature. He could also experience sudden and unexpected disruptions that cause irritations in his daily life as well. Uranus being in the 6th house of daily chores and routines, he could have an unconventional way of doing certain things that others have difficulty understanding. So to summarize, there is a strong need for recognition and admiration with Leo. There is a need for Jungkook to be individualistic, original that separates him from the crowd. With Virgo Sun and Mercury, Jungkook is meticulous and is motivated by growing his material resources and possessions. He's powerful, magnetic, and carries great strength and depth. There is part of him that is dark, penetrating, and domineering, and he would not allow others to control or oppress him in any way. One important area to look at in a birth chart is the midline connecting the IC and the MC. IC, which is the fourth house cusp, represents our childhood, upbringing, our place in early life within the family. MC, or the midheaven, is opposite of that environment. The environment we're in our adulthood, in areas of career, and our place in the world. Jungkook has a Libra 4th house and Aries 10th house. Let's start with analyzing the IC, or the 4th house cusp. Libra on the 4th house cusp again speaks to early childhood environment. It shows dependence and need for relationships. With Libra, Jungkook was focused on others rather than himself. He would have been cautious not to rock the boat in order to maintain harmony within his relationships with other people. He may have been in between family members or other adults, playing mediator or being pulled in opposite directions, unable to stand alone or express individuality. Mars and Pluto are located in his 4th house, which affects his IC in early environment. As I've already mentioned, these two planets here can represent violence or abuse in early life, as Mars is aggression and assertion, and Pluto is destruction and transformation. His early life could have felt threatening and filled with transformations through destructions of his foundations and belief systems. But these planets also make him very protective of his family and the people he considered as his family. He is also secretive with Pluto here, keeping his personal family life and childhood experiences protected. He wanted harmony and fairness at home. As mentioned briefly before, these are the aspects Mars and Pluto make. Mars squares his ascendant, Jupiter, and Uranus. It also sextiles his Sun and Mercury. Pluto squares Sun, Moon, and his Mercury, sextiles his Uranus, trines his ascendant, and quintiles his Jupiter. The 4th house planets make aspects to the areas of the 1st and 2nd house, showing direct impact on his personality, ego, identity, emotions, and inner security. Also make aspects to the planets in his 6th and 7th houses, where Uranus and Neptune are conjunct to his descendant, which is the area of partnerships and relationships with others. With these aspects, the authority, aggression, and maybe even the oppression he experienced in early life and childhood plays a large role not just on him as a person, but also in his relationship with others. Jupiter, expanding what it touches, can show expansion of aggression with Mars in a square aspect. With these aspects in connection with Mars and Pluto, I can't say that he grew up in a peaceful and quiet environment. Too much control, force, and manipulation is represented by these planetary configurations, which would be the cause of a lot of pain, fear, and wounding surrounding the self, ego, and identity, and cause turmoil in his relationship with others as well. With the harmonious aspect, such as the trines and sextiles, indicate healthy expression of assertion and drive, the dissolving of old patterns in order for positive growth, development, and transformation. Later in life, represented by the midheaven or the MC, Jungkook living on his own as an adult would seek what he may have lacked in childhood. With Aries here, which is a masculine cardinal fire sign ruled by Mars, he seeks autonomy, independence, and individuality. He is driven, determined, and competitive when it comes to his career and social status. There are no planets in his 10th house, so it is an empty house, so we look to the ruler of the 10th house for additional information. Ruler of Aries is Mars. So again, we look to his Mars placement in his 4th house for more insight about his midheaven. This gives his chart a repeating pattern. Mars pops up again and again, which makes Mars a pretty dominant energy in his chart and in his personality. As an adult, he's able to endure pain and stress due to early exposure dealing with tension and stress. It's nothing new to him. He's dealt with that all his life. Tension and difficulty is just part of life for him, and it's the push and the drive for his growth and development as well. In early life, he may have been concerned with creating harmony, but in adulthood, he isn't afraid to stand up for himself and walk the boat for expression of his will and individuality. He might feel like he deserves to be alone, or things are better when he is alone with Aries in the 10th house. It could indicate that he doesn't want any interference from others and wants to have control of himself. With his Mars in Scorpio, he is intensely focused and passionate about achieving his goals in the arena of social status and career. Next, let's move on to his love life according to his birth chart. Here we're going to talk about Venus and Mars. Venus is what he finds attractive, how he loves, and Mars is how he goes after what he wants, his drive and assertion. Jungkook's Venus is in the 3rd house of his chart in Libra. Libra is also ruled by Venus, so this is a very positive and strong placement. Venus feels home in Libra. Libra is a masculine cardinal air sign ruled by Venus. Jungkook is considerate, fair, and others-focused in love. He seeks balance and harmony in relationships. And he is focused on pleasing others and making sure that no one is receiving the short end of the stick. He's romantic, responsive to words of affirmation and affection, and sensitive to beauty and aesthetics. He would be attracted to someone who is a great communicator, someone who is diplomatic and intelligent. Communication is important when it comes to forming relationships for Jungkook, as his Venus is in the 3rd house of communication. He might enjoy banters and exchange of information with his loved one. Venus trining Jupiter in his chart indicate that he's lucky in love and can also indicate a happy marriage and prosperous partnerships, as his Jupiter is in the 7th house of partners and marriage. He finds generous and affectionate qualities in a partner attractive, or that he is generous in giving himself. There's ample opportunities for love with Jupiter's expansive energy here. However, with his Venus opposite Saturn can indicate a reserved expression in love. There is a tendency to be withdrawn and shy with potential love interests. It can also show resistance to control and restrictions in love with Saturn in Aries, indicating that he may find his mates to be burdensome due to obligations and responsibilities they pose onto him. Another way this energy can manifest is the potential of being with a partner who is authoritarian or a mate who is older than him. Partner can be far beyond him in areas of education and spiritual growth, representing more maturity and higher levels of education. Venus also quintiles his ascendant. This shows Jungkook's innate charm and charisma. Definitely shows music and artistic talents with Leo energy in connection with the 3rd house here. This is how he attracts potential lovers with his talents, and it can also indicate that he is attracted to people with musical or artistic talents as well. His Mars in Scorpio in the 4th house is how he would go after his attractions and can show his approach to love. Scorpio Mars is also strongly placed, as Mars is the traditional ruler of Scorpio. This Mars is intense, emotionally driven, and drawn to danger and mystery. They are prone to jealousy and can have tendencies to be possessive of partners. He could seem cold and detached at times, as Scorpio is a water sign, and in its extreme form, it can represent ice. And we know that his Mars aspects are tense and difficult, so it would show more of the negative qualities of Mars. But once he opens up, he is very passionate. When he falls in love, it will be for the long term, as he's motivated by intense and deep connections. And Scorpio Mars does have strong sexuality. And in the 4th house, it seeks deep intimacy, and the desire to bring a significant other to the home is present here. Mars squares Jupiter, Uranus, and Ascendant. And this can indicate that love doesn't work out due to just being at the wrong place at the wrong time. He does travel a lot, so it might be hard to make time for his partners, and unforeseen events stand in his way of forming successful long-term relationships. These aspects can show the need for moderation, gentleness, and diplomacy, as he can come off too strong and forceful at times in love, or too controlling with Scorpio Mars. With Uranus and Jupiter, it can indicate multiple partners or alternative lifestyle or an eccentric quality to his relationships. Mars sextiling his Sun and Mercury can mean that he's flirtatious and expresses himself actively and energetically in love. He comes off as confident and courageous in his approach and isn't afraid to strike up conversations with love interests. With Sun and Mercury in the second house of possessions, there's a belief of almost having ownership over his lovers, which increases the tendency to be possessive. There are opposing qualities when looking deeper into the aspects and planet placements in regards to Jungkook's love style and relationships. And this is because we're never set in one way of behavior. Our actions and feelings change depending on the day based on our mood or current energies. Our approach is always dynamic and changing depending on who we are interacting with as well. So sometimes he may be reserved due to Saturn, and sometimes he may act out of the norm and be more adventurous due to Uranus. These differences can be influenced by transiting planets, as planets are always in motion, affecting different parts of our natal chart on a daily basis. We'll talk about the 7th house, which represents partners and relationships. Aquarius is ruling Jungkook's 7th house cusp, with Uranus in Aquarius in close conjunction to his 7th house. This can indicate the strong need for partners that are unique, eccentric, and exciting. Uranus and Aquarius represent altruism, individuality, and non-conformity. Jungkook is motivated by excitement and thrills that new partnerships provide. Aquarius has the need to break from the tradition and old ways of doing things for the new and the alternative. This energy may represent a desire in him that wants non-traditional marriage or partnerships. It could represent alternative lifestyles and sexuality with double Uranus energy here. For example, he might go for weekend marriage where partners live together and share lives on the weekends, but lead separate lives in homes during the week. Or he may never get married and settle for domestic partnership instead. He may even be down for open marriage or open relationships, anything that is outside the norm when it comes to partnering up. Uranus is very active in his chart with a lot of aspects to other planets, both tense and flowing aspects. So Uranus's influence in Jungkook's chart is significant. He has Jupiter in Aquarius in his 7th house as well. This, as I've mentioned already, represents the expansion of his love life or the quantity of partners. Showing multiple partners or just can indicate a lot of opportunities for love. Jupiter is a benefic planet, so it often shows luck in love, especially with Venus trine Jupiter. Some of the signs he might be attracted to are Aquarius, Aries, as I'm a firm believer of opposites attract. Aquarius is the opposite sign of his Leo moon and Leo rising. Aquarius provides the eccentricity that he finds attractive due to a lot of Uranus energy in his chart. They will also provide him with the freedom and the space he requires in relationships. Aries is opposite of his Libra Venus. He would find their independent and assertive nature attractive. With a lot of Mars energy in his chart, he innately understands Aries energy. These two would be able to see eye to eye, but may experience competitiveness in some areas within their relationship and can argue, which could be stimulating or exhausting at times. Runner-ups are Pisces, which is opposite his Virgo placement, and he would also do well with Libras as well because of his Venus sign. Libras innately have the qualities Jungkook values and is attracted to. So I will end with some qualities that represent the overall picture of Jungkook's birth chart. Most of the planets are in his northern hemisphere, which is the bottom of the chart. And the planets are evenly distributed between the west and the east hemisphere. This indicates that Jungkook is introverted and private. He's concerned mostly with self-improvement and self-development. He's both self-motivated, independent, as well as receptive of others and their point of views. He recognizes the importance of relationships with other people in his life journey. Most of his planets are placed in fire signs. He has equal planets in earth and air signs after fire. He only has one sign in water, which is his Mars in Scorpio, but his Mars is a significant planet in his chart. He also has 7 planets that are masculine in energy, or that possesses yang qualities over yin or feminine energy. So fire and masculine energy give him strength, assertion, and aggression. Although it provides him with the qualities to go after what he wants and to achieve his goals, it can also make him aggressive, and it also makes him action-oriented as well. He's also motivated by practical matters and acts based on logic with earth and air elements. So this was my analysis of Jungkook's AM birth chart. Let me know what you think. And let me also know which chart you think represent him the best, his AM chart or his PM chart. So check out my PM chart analysis I did earlier as well. And I hope you found this fun and insightful. Thank you so much for watching till the end. Bye.